we don't really know where the world is gonna go. But now everybody knows that you can't stop for too long, got to keep.
The first step in generating wealth is to pay yourself first.
But now everybody knows.
Stay tuned.
Stay protected.
Stay focused.
Stay connected.
There's a lot of different types of HELOC products that are now on the market, some of them geared towards velocity banking, and that's really good news.
This is probably the largest asset you will ever have in your life.
Right.
Here's some direction and some instruction on how to leverage this vehicle so that you can help yourself, help your family, accomplish your goals. We're not educated that way.
We use a strategy to pay off our home in 4 years.
Validation of your retirement account says what you thought was a retirement account is no longer one.
When I tell you, you're going to be shocked to learn. If you didn't come from a wealthy family,
You can make sure a wealthy family comes from you. So it starts with pay yourself first today,
Yeah, starting today.
right now. Put your money in somewhere secure. It's about the ability to not lose. I will take base hits all day long versus winning and losing. Somewhere secure, compound your money, and then you leverage OPM, other people's money, to exponentially grow it. That's how you generate wealth.
So whether you're joining us to crush debt or build wealth, time is the most valuable asset.
and we're so grateful that you're spending your time here with us.
Got to keep going.
Hello. Are we on? Hopefully the
Gotta
audio
be.
is better. Yeah, hopefully things are better. We sound better. We fixed that part. Let us know. If not, this is just what it's going to have to be until our 1400 round of tech issue troubleshooting sessions. That's not what we're here for today. What we're going to talk about is Roth. We are going to talk about something that's been kind of a thorn in our side for conversations around Roth, some of the gurus and what they're saying out there in regards to why you should or shouldn't care about this topic. Roth contributions, and who does this impact mainly? And if you didn't know, probably you. If it's not now, it's going to be later, and so
Right.
you will be able to get prepared from this stream, hands down. So I think that's pretty much what we're discussing. There's not a whole lot. Well, we shortened it down for the summary, for like the intro summary, and then next week we'll go into a more
Detail.
yeah.
Yep. So here's the thing. Roth is one of those things where when you think of Roth, you immediately think of a Roth IRA. When in truth, Roth is just a condition. It's a condition of your dollar. It doesn't matter what the vehicle is, 403B, TSP, government 457 plan, the option or the availability for Roth is there. So why don't we hear more about just Roth? Why is it Roth tied to an IRA? And you have to peel that layer back. You have to go who benefits. One, who benefits from the retirement account that I have today with my employer. Is it traditional dollars? Is it pre-tax dollars? Or is it post-tax dollars? And why? Who benefits? And so we're going to dig into some of that. And the reason we're digging into it is because time. You are in this period of time for 2024 where there's an opportunity. There's an opportunity to improve this space and get credit for the full year without taking much action. So we're going to talk through some of those things, peel back some of those layers, run through a fairly quick example. Should be a fairly quick live as well. But this also builds upon some of the conversations that I've been having over this weekend. We spent about 3 days or so in Orlando talking to a fairly large group of potential investors related to non-traditional investing. And we talked a lot about the opportunity to be able to invest in what you want, to be able to invest in what you want when you want, using non-traditional means and self-directed retirement accounts.
Yeah.
We didn't talk a lot about Roth. We touched on it, but we didn't talk a lot about the Roth, the details, the reason why the 5 years matter, all of those kind of things. So we'll deep dive and dig a little bit more into that today.
Okay. Well, part of this could be like a 4-part series.
Easily.
Some of it we can't even legally cover because we're not tax attorneys. So that's something that, even though if we are aware of the information, we can't cover it. But it doesn't mean that it's not information that if we send you down this rabbit hole, you'll go find it, right? Or we can bring somebody on to, further expand on these advanced strategies. The point that I'm trying to make here is It doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to invest in. The point of us going over all of this information, especially as it relates to Roth, is the conditions of our intentions going in, right? The conditions of this excitement to jump into a new income stream, to jump into a new investment pool, even these conferences and things that people go to, and they get all excited, right? Get all excited. I'm going to take my money and I'm going to invest in this thing and I'm going to do this thing because it's why? Because it's going to yield me retirement income. It's going to yield me wealth, time, and freedom. But by the time you learn that this has consequences, severe consequences attached to it, it's extremely defeating. And we can avoid those things by getting educated. We can avoid those things by getting properly structured, right?
We can avoid those things by getting self-directed.
Yeah.
Let's get into
Do that. All right, let's go. All right, if you're new here, please jump in the chat. Let us know where you're from. We would love to know where you're tuning in from. I think if I'm quieter, then your mic doesn't pick me up, right? Is that what it is?
You have to whisper speak. Should this be an ASMR?
We're going to do it. Roth ASMR.
Roth ASMR.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get the word.
Yeah, okay.
Sentences was the word I couldn't say last. Sentences.
We are, we're going to jump in right now and give you some examples of what we're talking about, how and why you should care about this. Of course, that's always what we try to do. So my point was, if you were in the chat, let us know where you're tuning in from. If you're new to our stream, we would love some feedback on, Sequia's laughing at us. We would love some feedback on these topics. Do you like it when we kind of first unpack it as a summary, high level scope, and then go deeper? Or would you just rather it all in one stream? We're trying different things, so let us know. Okay, you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go. Oh, you know what? I didn't put the new one on there, so you gotta run over there.
Okay.
Can he make it before the transition ends?
I doubt it.
My money's on you. All right, here we go. Mm-hmm. Okay, now you talk.
Hello, everybody.
Can you guys hear
me now?
that?
And I can start over too because I haven't talked about it.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
So we're good?
Yeah, I think so.
So again, all I was just mentioning was today we're going to focus our attention on Roth and why though. It's really about these areas. You going on your journey to achieve your 10. And whether that's leveraging some type of properly structured self-directed IRA or 401k, or it's doing velocity banking to reduce the debt you have and increase your cash flow so you can take that cash flow and then qualify for some type of better debt tool that can be leveraged to grab you a properly structured cash value life insurance based product to either do infinite banking or put yourself in a position where you can generate supplemental income. Like, regardless of what the reason is or what the steps are, it's understanding what those tools are. And so as it relates to self-directed retirement accounts, we're going to dig in today a little bit about Roth. But let's start here. Let me come down some. Let's start here. Are you guys aware that I want to say the number is $39.9 trillion. There's about $39.9 trillion tied up in retirement accounts. $39.9 trillion. And of that $39.9 trillion, about $23 trillion of that is held by these two companies, Fidelity and Vanguard. Meaning, just Fidelity and Vanguard have over 60% of the total amount of retirement in this country. So when it comes to rules and when it comes to actions you can take with your company's retirement account, how much control do you have on making any of those changes if all of your majority of your retirement dollars are tied up with Fidelity and Vanguard? You don't have much control, which means the lobbyists for traditional retirement companies are who is making the rules as it relates to your company's retirement account. And so as we go through today, the questions that you want to answer is, who benefits from you not being able to take some of the actions that I'm referencing? And it's because, again, majority of your retirement dollars are between two companies. And so the objective is, how can I leverage Fidelity, leverage Vanguard, leverage Morgan Stanley or Edward Jones or wherever your retirement dollars might be? How can I leverage them to be able to assist me in hitting my goals? Treat them the way they're treating you and working within their system, because we can't, again, it's going to take a lot to change this system that they have majority control over. So I'm not looking to change the system. I'm looking to leverage the system. And who else is in this bucket? I would assume no one. No one enjoys paying taxes. So ask yourself, since no one enjoys paying taxes, why would my company's retirement account, why would the company that I'm spending 10, 15, 45 years with put me in a retirement plan that defers taxes? Again, no one, the company you work for doesn't enjoy taxes. The company you work for is doing everything they can to reduce their tax liability. So why wouldn't you be doing the same? Why wouldn't you be placed in a position to do the same? Why isn't it automatic that when you join the company and you fill out those documents to start your retirement plan, it automatically starts with, hey, let's do the most that we can to make sure you're paying the least amount of taxes? Why isn't it that way? Again, who benefits? And so it begs the question, before we kind of go too far into this thing, what is the difference between Roth and traditional? When I'm saying Roth and I'm talking about traditional dollars, what ultimately do I mean? All I'm saying is, hey, it's the timing of the tax advantage. For a traditional dollar, traditional dollars are taxed when you go to use the fund. So traditional dollars are taxed on the withdrawal. Most of your 401ks, IRAs, 403bs, TSPs, government 457 plans are funded with pre-tax dollars, which means you will not be taxed on the accumulation of your retirement account until it's time for you to need it. Again, let's just from a logic perspective. When would I want to pay more? Would I want to pay more while I'm in the accumulation phase? Or would I want to pay more when I need it the most and I no longer have a 40-hour-a-week job to pay for those taxes that I would be spending? Like, at what point would I prefer? And logic would say I would want it here, meaning with a Roth, with Roth dollars, your Roth dollars are taxed when they go in, meaning they're taxed on the contribution. But when you go to use these funds at a later date, you're using these funds tax-free. But again, let's go a little bit further though. Tax is very, very simply, I pay tax on the seed But whatever grows from that seed, I get for free. They call it seed money. Again, I pay taxes on the seed, but whatever grows from that, the harvest, the fruits of that labor, I get tax free. Very simple. I'll call it a fairly simple example as well. And I want you to look at this from a perspective. I am talking, what if you were making 9% in one investment, meaning at their age 30, you're going to take $10,000, put that $10,000 into a 9% investment. One time $10,000. We're not contributing $10,000 every year. If you were to take $10,000 at the age of 30 and put it in an investment that is yielding 9%. Using the rule of 72, the rule of 72 says, hey, 9% or 72 divided by 9% gives me 8. So what that says is it will take 8 years for my money to double one time. So what's happening? If you have a 9% investment placed into a vehicle, $10,000 placed into a vehicle that's yielding a 9% return every 8 years, your money would double. And so if it's in a traditional account, doesn't matter whether it's an IRA or 401k, if it's a traditional account, by the time you hit age 70, you've got $320,000, you're happy. But depending on the tax bracket you're in, let's just assume 20% tax bracket, 100% of that $320,000 is now taxable, which means that 20% tax bracket that you've been placed in would yield about a $64,000 tax burden, which means out of that $320,000, you're going to owe 64 grand, which leaves you with 256,000. Fairly simple. And if you were to do this in a Roth IRA, though, notice it yields the same dollar amount. This is what the gurus tell you. The gurus tell you, hey, don't worry about traditional or Roth because the end result is the same. How's that possible? Well, this is what they're saying. They're saying, hey, if I've got $10,000 and that $10,000 is taxed at 20%, 20% of $10,000 is $2 grand. So if I pay taxes on the $2 grand and I subtract that $2 grand from the $10,000 and I invest that $8 grand, it takes 8 years for my money to double just once. So that $8 grand becomes 16. That 16 becomes 32. That 32 becomes 64. Blah, blah, blah. By the end of by age 70, I end up at the same rate or the same growth on my money in a Roth IRA tax-free that I would have in a traditional retirement account. That is what the gurus say. But here's the piece that they're missing. Here's what makes this false. They're assuming that this 20% tax bracket that you're in will always be the same. They're assuming that it will always be 20% of your total. Meaning, let's go back 30 years. No, 30, 40. Let's go back 40 years. 40 years ago, how old were you? If it's 2024 today, 40 years ago would be what, 84? So in 1984, let's say you invested 10 grand. Invested 10 grand in 1984. This structure states, well, by 2024, you would have $320,000. In 1984, was the tax rate the same as the tax rate would be in 2024? Absolutely not. Not maybe, absolutely not. And so the assumption is this would be true if the tax rate was the same. But let's talk about Roth rules and let's just get on the same page. As the years progress, our tax liabilities increase. Taxes are not going down. Taxes are getting greater. The value of $1 in 1984 is not the same value of $1 in 2024. Can we just agree? So it blows all of this out of the water. The guru that's telling you it doesn't matter whether it's tax deferred or tax free is incorrect, is 100% wrong, and they are part of the same system that's been lying to you. So let's talk about the rules. The rules are fairly simple. And again, this does not say Roth IRA. This does not say Roth 401k. This is about Roth dollar. Dollars are a condition. It's a condition of your dollar. The first step is you have to decide. if you're going to convert $10,000 to Roth, again, going back to this example, I know it's a little messy, so let me clean it up a little bit. Going back to this example, if we are going to convert $10,000 to Roth, when does that happen? Well, let's say it's January of 2024, and we convert the $10,000 over to Roth. Converting $10,000 to Roth is a decision. There's not some paperwork you have to fill out. There's not some permission you have to ask. It is a decision that you have to make. And if you're deciding today, in January, that $10,000 is Roth, it's Roth. You're not paying taxes on that $10,000 today. What happens is now that $10,000 that you have in January is Roth, it's now being invested as Roth, meaning it's now on its path to double starting in January. So maybe you made $1,200 in 6 months, and then by December you made $1,400. And so what ends up happening is at the end of the year, December 31st, you have to now add the dollar amount that you contributed to Roth as additional income, which means you're going to 1099 yourself for the $10,000 that you converted to Roth in January. But from January to December, you've been building Roth profit. From January to December, you have 12 months of tax-free growth. So you are not paying taxes on that $10,000 in January. So you are not investing $8,000 as the gurus will try to tell you. You're investing $10,000 and that $10,000 has been growing. But again, you do have to pay taxes on the amount that you converted. It's okay, I'm going to pay taxes on $10,000, which means there's an additional $2,000 of tax liability is going to be added to my income. Done. But the amount that's growing in year 2 is still $10,000. And now your account has to be in place for 5 years. Meaning all of the money that $10,000 has been making every year has been growing tax-free profit. But it's not officially tax-free because your account hasn't been in place long enough. It has to be in place 5 years. Remember that number, 5 years. There's a lot that we're going to talk about that impacts that 5-year time frame. And then once you hit 59 and a half, all of the money that you've been contributing over that 40-year period, again, going from that example, over that 40-year period is now tax-free. Meaning when you're ready to start taking a distribution, every dollar is tax-free. So the truth is, it looks like this. It is $10,000 that you're investing over that time period, and that $10,000 does turn into $320,000 tax-free that you are able to now take distributions from and not have to worry about who's president, whether Elon Musk is or is not in the cabinet. You get to take this dollar amount tax-free for the rest of your life, and also it continues to grow tax-free, by the way. And this is a one-time $10,000 investment, one time. Now, that's not realistic for most of us who are contributing Roth dollars. There's a continuous contribution over time. So this looks a little bit different and I'll call it in actuality. And we're going to walk through a short example around that. But my point is, be careful who you're listening to, because just because someone says something doesn't make it true. Traditional means we are waiting till this point to pay our taxes, and regardless of, and we don't know what the tax rate will be. So what we're saying is, hey, government, please charge me whatever the tax rate is in 2024. Remember, I started this process in '84. It's now 2024. I'm now telling the government, I don't care what the tax rate is, please charge me all of it. Is it actually 20%? Or is it more like 25 or 24? Where are you in the tax bracket now based off the changes, right? And so what we wanted to do was kind of walk through a fairly short example to kind of break this down in more of, I'll call it, what this would actually look like if you were making a Roth contribution into a traditional retirement account. So we're looking at just a traditional, normal traditional, whether 403B or 401A or 401C or 403B, it doesn't matter which one. I'm making traditional contributions into a traditional retirement account. What does that look like? Well, if we're talking Roth, let's say my current annual income is $100,000 and I'm able to contribute the max. And in a 401k, that max today is $23,000. And there's only so much examples like this. I get it. Contribution limits do increase over time. But let's assume from the time you started your 401k, it's $23,000, and it will be $23,000 for the next 25 years. Again, you have a Roth 401k and you've got a traditional 401k. Your current annual income is $100,000. And yes, there's a match. We're not including the match. We're just simply stating you've got a Roth 401k, traditional 401k, two different individuals, but they both make $100,000 and they're both contributing the max, which is $23,000 a year. For the Roth account, that $23,000 a year is being taxed up front, right? So over that 25-year period of contributing $23,000, the person with the Roth account would have paid $297,000 in taxes. Is that a lot? Guys concerned about that? Compared to the person who works for who has his W-2 job and his company doesn't offer Roth accounts, so he's putting the same $23,000 away for the same 25 years, and he has avoided. He has deferred taxes on his retirement, and he has avoided this same $297,000. Let's just call it $300,000. He's avoided $300,000. If you have an advisor, your advisor is saying, see, look how great you did. You have built your retirement and you have avoided paying $300,000 in taxes over this 25-year period. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay, now wait. If you're like me, you're looking at this and you're thinking to yourself, did he really avoid paying $300? Like, this isn't saved, right? It doesn't say that he saved it. It doesn't say that he did anything else with these dollars. He just avoided paying them to taxes. Now, this could really matter. We're going to talk about the tax brackets in just a second, but this could really matter as a strategy if you could say truly that in these years when you were about to have a significant jump, that this really helped you to not just throw money away to taxes, right? Because some of these jumps are insane. So if that were part of the strategy, could be a smart move. Could be that you just reallocated those funds to something that was more productive.
Right.
Okay. But the majority of people don't do that. The majority of Americans, we'll just say Americans.
Their lifestyle does this.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. This is an upgrade. They will use
Continues
that
to increase.
Right. The lifestyle continues to upgrade. And so you qualify for a bigger house, right? A more expensive house, a more expensive car, all of those things. And it slowly starts getting eaten up. And then you didn't actually avoid paying the taxes. Now you're paying a lifestyle tax. That's essentially what it is, because it just keeps going on. Like, how do you stop it, right? All right.
And in addition, the objective here again, if the objective is, hey, I'm putting away this dollar amount so that I can generate wealth or produce a comfortable retirement and be able to sustain my lifestyle. The other thing that the gurus talk about is, hey, the reason you don't worry about the taxes here is because you won't need this income when you retire. You won't need $100,000. The kids will be gone. The home will be paid off. You won't have debt. So you won't need this $100,000. Not taking into consideration the cost of that, or the power of that dollar, the ability for that dollar to be stretched long term, meaning, yeah, you may not need $100,000. You may need $300,000 in 25 years, depending on what inflation would be, right? But we don't have that discussion. It's, hey, because you don't need it, it's okay that you pay whatever that tax rate would be in the future, because you'll be making less money and you won't need as many things anyway. What happened to abundance? What happened to actually putting yourself in a position to where you can actually leave and build a legacy? And if that is the case, it's not just about sustaining where you are, it's also about increasing. But this is just about staying where you are. Hey, I make $100,000, and in retirement, I want to have $100,000 to be able to sustain my lifestyle. Here's the thing: we don't have a crystal ball or a magic wand. So this 25-year contribution, we are building this 25-year contribution based off the past. So what we're going to look at is what did $100,000 look like 25 years ago? what is that tax bracket that you would be in? Meaning, what is the dollar amount that you would be making in the tax bracket that you would be in based off $100,000 25 years ago? And as the years increase up to that 25-year point, what does it look like today? So we're not looking at the future. We're going to look in the past and apply that to this example. A lot of words. My point is, we're going to take this $100,000 and again, level things off, but we're using the tax bracket of 25 years ago. What do I mean? At $100,000 a year in income, 25 years ago, what would this look like? It would look more like, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around 57K, if I'm not mistaken. Meaning what that's saying is the equivalent of $100,000 25 years ago was more like $57,000 a year in income, which would have placed you where? It would have placed you in a tax bracket of around 28%. Okay? So 28% 25 years ago based off $57,000 a year is equivalent to $100,000 today. And then by 2015, it would have placed you somewhere around the 25% tax bracket. And I believe that dollar amount is somewhere around 75K, if I'm not mistaken. So what that's saying is in 2015, what is equivalent to $100,000 today would have been $75,000 a year in 2015, and it would have placed you in a tax bracket of somewhere around here. Okay. And so fast forward to today, again, 25 years later, this 100K would have placed you in again, this is what the politicians would say, it would have placed you in a lower tax bracket. And that lower tax bracket would be around 24%. And so if you were talking to your favorite politician, he would be saying, see, the tax rate has gone from 28% in 2020, or whatever, 25 years ago, 1999, down to 24% today. Look how great and wonderful your government has been to you. But let's peel that back a little bit. How far did that $57,000 go in 1999? What type of house, how much of a house could you have purchased with a $57,000 income in 1999? How about 2015? Oh, that's not 57, that's 75. How about in 2015? How far would $75,000 have gone in 2015? So while, yes, the tax rate might be lower, the impact on your wallet is much different. What is the purchasing power of this $100,000 at 24% compared to the $57,000 at 28%? Can we just agree? I could buy more stuff in 1999 at $57,000 a year in income than I could buy today at $100,000 being in a 24% tax bracket. Can we just agree? If you disagree, please let me know in the chat. But my math says this dollar amount here went further than this dollar amount here. Got something, sweetheart?
No, Gabo's in the chat, and he's given away the answers to the test.
Absolutely. Because here's the thing, though. I would hope so. Because what I am sharing with you is not new. It's not hard. It's not complicated. And these are things that we should all know. But if you go to your favorite search engine and you look up your favorite retirement vehicle, what is it? Who owns it? What are you contributing to it? And is that dollar Roth or traditional? Again, we know these things, but our lifestyle doesn't match these things. Why is that? And so we have to peel these layers back and we have to break it down, right? So from that $100,000 perspective, from a Roth 401k compared to a traditional 401k, again, annual income being $100,000. I'm contributing $23,000 over the next 25 years. The amount of taxes that I pay in my Roth 401k is about $300,000 paid. I've avoided $300,000 in my traditional retirement account, and my financial advisor was patting me on the back saying, hey, keep going. But when I hit retirement age, and I learn about the 4% rule, I learned that the reason I can't have more than 4% coming out of my retirement nest egg is because I will run out of money, and I will run out of money because, one, it's been eaten up by 2/3 of fees, and two, I've got this tax liability. And again, this is assuming we're following 25 years ago tax performance. We have no idea what the next 25,000 years will be. We have no idea how much larger this dollar amount will be. But I think we can agree it won't be smaller.
Right.
I think we can agree taxes won't be less than what they are today. And so which is better? Paying $300,000 today so that you can have unlimited income, not unlimited, that's incorrect, $210,000 a year tax-free in income coming off, again, if the goal is to maintain the same $100,000 a year income that I had 25 years ago, that means that equates to about $210,000 a year in income, meaning this $210,000 is buying the same thing $100,000 could buy 25 years ago. So if the objective is to just simply maintain my lifestyle, if the objective is just to simply be able to pay for the same things that I can pay for today, I need $210,000 a year to be able to do it. In a Roth 401k, it's $210,000 tax-free for the rest of my life versus $210,000 taxable. And again, if I live another 25 years, in total, the taxes I would have paid on my Roth 401k, none. The taxes I would have paid inside of my traditional 401k, which majority of us have, and my traditional 403b, my traditional TSP, which majority of us have, held by Fidelity and Vanguard, the taxes that I would end up paying would be at minimum $1.4 million. And I'm supposed to be excited about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had to come up with, sorry for covering your face here. We had to come up with an example of what it would be if you were to put in an amount, right?
Right.
Now, how long you could do just take a distribution of $210,000 per year.
Right.
Like we agreed before we went to go do this. So for all the naysayers out there, we get it. Or the people who aren't doing the math, listen up, because this is not realistic. This is what they want you to believe, that you could maintain the same lifestyle.
Right.
Even if you were to take $100,000, let's half this.
Right.
How long is this going to last?
And that's the part. And again, we can't. There's too many weeds to put on this board to kind of detail everything.
Right.
And so just assuming I can maintain my lifestyle and carry this $210,000 out for the next 25 years.
Right.
Let's say I made it. Let's say I made it beyond 25 years. Is that enough? Again, that neither here nor there. My point to you is, which is better?
Well,
and the vehicle that you're in, should you be deferring your taxes or should you be paying the tax rate you know today, building tax-free wealth?
Okay. Did you already pull up the next one?
Nope.
Isn't the next?
I don't know. Go ahead. Tell me what you want me to do and I'll do it.
Maybe it's the next one. I forget.
Let's see.
No.
Nope.
No. Okay. So going back then to the tax brackets.
Yep.
So didn't we do one today and 25 years from now?
Okay.
Maybe I'm messing up. Maybe I'm messing things up here. Let me get out.
Water.
Let me get out of here and come back in when that slide pulls up. Okay, bye.
So again, the moral of the story is, which is better? And again, the objective is not to overcomplicate this. People are telling you one thing. Again, the gurus who say don't worry about Roth because the dollar is the same is lying to you. Because they're assuming that the tax rate, they're assuming that this is not the truth. They're assuming that this dollar amount 25 years ago will be the same today. Can we agree that $57,000 a year is far from middle class? Can we agree that $57,000 a year will not allow you to sustain a lifestyle that's on the level of $100,000 a year? It will not. And so knowing that the tax rate isn't the same, regardless of whether it goes up or down, it places you in a bracket that forces you to pay more in taxes than you would have been. And let's not discount inflation. The power of your dollar is not the same as it was in 1999. These are just facts, not my opinion. And so as a result, you decide which is better. And so what do? Like, okay, Donnell, you made your point. You made your point that I need to function here, but the job that I work for only offers a traditional 401k. So am I cooked? Like, what can I do? And the thing is, you can't change what your job does or doesn't offer. It's the information that says, okay, then maybe this 23,000, this maxing out of my 401k that I'm doing, maybe I should just be contributing up to the match so that I could generate the income or generate the growth based off the match that my company is providing me. But what's left over, I need to get it into a vehicle that's going to produce me tax-free dollars. Is there a vehicle, maybe not even a retirement vehicle like an IRA or 401k? Is there another vehicle that I can take a portion of this income and put it in to help to assist me in generating tax-free wealth?
Well, I think this impacts a lot of people in a lot of different ways because this isn't one size fits all.
It is not a one size fits all.
Right. So there are many ways to 10, as we always say, right, guys? And if somebody is working with a regular job, it's not to say you shouldn't be doing that. We're not fans of saying that having a W-2 job or income is a bad thing and you should own your own business or whatever.
Right.
We're not fans of that. We are fans of generating income and being smart with your cash flow to be able to build wealth. So who would this impact then? Who should be paying more attention than maybe others when it comes to getting properly structured and strategizing? Because when I say strategy, I really mean it. This could mean that you have to take advantage of the ability to reduce your taxable income because some of these jumps are just silly. They're unnecessary. Why would you just pay more just to get it into Roth? You're actually not, because you are being penalized at a higher rate.
Right.
Some of these jumps don't make it worth it. So I'm not a fan of, no matter what, put Roth as the top strategy. There are ways to mitigate the penalty, we'll call it, to you and your income by strategizing based on where you are. So let's talk about that.
So let me partially disagree, though.
Okay.
And I say partially because you're not a fan of putting Roth first. And remember, Roth is a condition of a dollar. Roth is not a vehicle. So, meaning I am a fan of putting Roth first because I am a fan of my dollar being in a condition of I am paying whatever the tax is on it today, but I am never paying another dime on that dollar for the rest of my life. So I am a fan of living in a tax-free environment. So I am a fan of putting Roth first. But that doesn't mean it has to be a 401k or an IRA or TSP or some type of traditional retirement account. There are other vehicles that can put your money in a position to where it's building tax-free growth, right? There are properly structured cash value life insurance products. There's other vehicles that you can put your money in to achieve that same Roth condition. Make sense?
Well, I guess we're just going to be married out here on this live stream tonight, guys.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Can we agree to disagree? Is it on the board? Okay, let's go.
Well, I mean,
when you pull up that tax
here.
No, it's the next one. It's after this, I think.
I will go wherever you want me to go.
Unless you decided not to put it up here.
Anything.
No,
I will go wherever you want me to go.
No, it didn't make it up here.
Okay, thank you, dear.
Well, you put them up here. So where's the one with the point is, okay, just pull up the old one. Just pull up the old one. Sorry, guys. Just 1 second. Okay. This, I wish I could circle.
I'll circle for you.
This, it's the jump. So let's just go with today.
And I think when you say jump, you're saying, hey, the income that I make is maybe sitting, or let's call it sitting here. Meaning I'm for the first 10% of my income, I'm only being taxed on that 10% based off the $9,200 a year. But the jump from $9,200 over to $37,450 is significant. And so it pushes you into a different tax bracket, I assume is what you're...
No, I'm saying if you're in the 12% tax bracket and then you have to jump to 22, that is a significant jump.
Absolutely.
Okay. That's a significant jump on a significant amount of funds.
Right. 11,000 to 44 grand.
Yes. Are you guys with me? Okay. Let me know.
Meaning if I just made $12,000 this year, I'm now pushed into a tax bracket that is 2% basis points higher than what I was in.
No. Say it. if I was already in the 12% bracket,
Yeah.
okay, and I was making 44,775,
Yep.
okay, then I made $45,000.
Same difference. Yes.
Hold on.
You went from here to here, or you went from there to there. I'm with you.
Yeah.
22% is a large difference.
Okay,
Yes.
I want to now put in $23,000. That $23,000 is now put, let's just say I got, whatever the case was, I jumped up into that with $23,000 more. That is taxed now at 22%.
Yes.
Okay. Going up to 24 isn't that that much different, right?
But going from 12 to 22 is significant.
Going from 24 to 32 is another jump.
Significant. Absolutely.
Right. And so that's where I'm saying, in those moments where you may have to jump from 24 to 32.
And so let me restate what it is I think you're saying as it relates to that. Meaning, the income that you're making, you've decided based off watching Donnell, you said, you know what, I am putting too much into my company's retirement account. And so therefore, I am going to scale back and only put up to the match. But when I do that, the income difference in what I was making, putting in $23,000 to now putting in something less than that, has now pushed me from a 12% tax bracket up to a 22% tax bracket.
So
yes, I'm with you.
Being able to contribute to reduce your taxable income down into the lower bracket is a strategy to reduce the taxes that you'll pay there. So it could be that difference could be $10,000.
Right.
That difference could be $5,000, right? We see this difference, right, guys? Is this making sense? Is this tracking for you guys? If that difference helps you to not be then pushed into the next tax bracket, then the impact that could have on whatever that dollar amount is, if doing the long math, right?
That's the part.
Obviously, these are brackets, so it's not saying that all of your income is going to be taxed at this rate. It's that portion of your income taxed at that rate. But it doesn't matter, because for a lot of people, they think to themselves, if I make more money, I'll just pay more in taxes anyway. And therefore, they get confused on, well, what am I supposed to do when I make more money? I'm just going to focus on the write-offs, right? And they get, I'm going to follow people about write-offs. I'm going to write all this stuff off, only to learn you can't.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. Then they think, oh, how do I reduce my taxable income so it makes it seem like I made less, so I pay less taxes? And they get themselves in this horrible cycle, not even be aware of a strategy that could truly help them increase their leverage, build more wealth. One of those things being smart about how you're strategizing on paper,
right?
How you're positioning yourself on paper so that you can continue to be marketable from a lending perspective. This is where a lot of people are right now in these looking at these tax brackets, trying to qualify for a HELOC, right? They're trying to improve their situation, but they also are trying to increase their cash flow by paying less in taxes today, so that they have more in cash flow to apply to strategies like velocity banking, infinite banking, or to fund their
leverage IUL.
Yeah, leverage IUL. So if they're not truly applying a strategy, the impact that it could have would be feeling like a wash at the end of the day. Okay, get in the chat and tell me, does this making sense? Because I see you guys are watching. So no, Angelique? Thumbs down, not making sense. Thumbs up, making sense.
But you said it. And it's doing the long math. Meaning, if adding whatever that portion of $23,000 is to my income pushes me into a higher tax bracket, meaning now I'm paying higher in taxes on my normal income. However, that difference I take and place in a vehicle that is producing me tax-free growth over time. Mathematically, which one? Again, can I overcome that tax burden by making more money over here in this other vehicle? We have to do the long math. It is not a one-size-fits-all. It is only do this. And in addition, I want to make sure this is clear. These are and assets. I'm not saying don't do this and only do that. No, it's all. Understand how all of these pieces go together. Because to your point, if I am increasing my tax burden, but that means I'm now making more, which now makes me more favorable to a bank to be able to apply for a home equity line of credit, which will do what? Allow me to leverage the home equity line of credit to be able to pay down debt faster so my cash flow increases, so I have more money available to do what? Put it in that properly structured cash value life insurance product, blah, 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 blah,
Hello.
blah.
Yes. And that's the part right there that nobody's really talking about. It's how do you qualify and what are the lenders looking for on your paperwork to qualify to qualify you for these vehicles to leverage in the first place. That was one of the biggest aha moments that I had, was learning about your taxable income and how it's read on paper. You could have made $100K, put 23 of it in your retirement fund, and the bank doesn't care.
Right.
They do not care that you did that. It's not a good job, well done. They literally do not care. Then you say, okay, well, I have all these deductions, so I'm going to write off as much as I can. And the bank's like, go ahead, it's in your coffin. Like, we don't care. You're just making yourself less lendable, less attractive on paper for us to give you money. This wasn't the case. There's been different conditions because of different lending products for years and years, right? But the one thing that we do have to do is be mindful of how these things affect us and how they affect us reaching our goal. Yep. That's the part for me is, can you strategize based on where you are working with a tax professional, right? Does that tax professional care your wealth building goals? Why is the camera doing that? Do they care about that? Are they aware of that? Are they mindful of the decisions that you're making throughout the year to help you and to encourage you to do certain things so that by the end of the year, because you can't go back. There's only one thing that you can do to impact your taxable income after the year is already over. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Yep. So stay tuned.
So ultimately, but what's the impact? Like if you have your funds in traditional retirement accounts and you're doing what you were told that you were supposed to do with those dollars, and again, this is actually a larger community than I am used to seeing at the moment. There's this large transfer of wealth happening, and I'm getting a lot of calls about inherited retirement accounts. And, depending on how you are structured or how your family left you structured will gravely impact your tax liability. So if we're talking about traditional retirement accounts that are not Roth, that I'm just putting in that tax deferred dollar, hoping that the tax rate might look different later on, knowing for a fact that it will not, all I'm doing is increasing my tax liability. Those inherited IRAs that you've picked up that now have to be liquidated within the next 5 years. You have 5 years to get every dollar out of that inherited IRA.
Did y'all know that? Did you know that? Because I hope if you didn't, that you do now. I really do hope that you do know that now and that you take a note of that. It has to be emptied.
Right.
The word is empty. The word on the IRS.gov is emptied in 5 years as a distribution. So think to yourself, what do you think you would be inheriting? Are you aware of what that amount is? And then how would that push you up in a tax bracket?
And again, it's math. $250,000 in an inherited IRA. That's $50,000 a year. So that means I'm adding now $50,000. Going back to this point here, I'm now adding $50,000 a year of income. What did that $50,000 of additional income do to the tax bracket that I'm now in? And so, what is that impact? And again, we can guard against this. Maybe you have a parent that at some point you will be transferred a certain portion of wealth. What conversation can you have with that parent today to become better structured, knowing that I have 5 years to fully liquidate whatever that inherited product might be? Is it possible that today we can place these accounts into another properly structured asset such that this burden doesn't hit me, the individual who's receiving it, as another increase in my tax liability? These are the conversations that need to be had. Go ahead, sweetheart.
Okay, so this is another reason why I'm bringing this up, because so many people are anticipating it's not inherited accounts necessarily.
Right.
That they're like their parents have to pass first.
Right.
And it's not that we're sitting around talking about this very dark subject. What we're about is something that's about to happen. It's a significant transfer that's about to happen because of the changes that are being made to, or said to be made to Social Security.
Absolutely.
And the sustainability of this program. So if you have a parent who is who has a retirement account, maybe they had a fixed income, and you're looking at what is this economy going to be like for them and how much money are they going to have? Are they going to run out of money? If you're not, you should be, okay? But if that's the case, most of these people, most of them who paid into Social Security are wanting to make sure that they get their money's worth out of this program, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever it is. So when they need to be or want to be in some sort of assisted living facility where they have access to care, they can have their independence and not be a burden to their families. Some of these programs cost $8,000 to $9,000 a month. I'm just going to give this one example. I'm sure there's a lot of different examples out there, and there's probably a good range of expenses. This is about average, $8,000 to $9,000 a month, which is also why people are looking at, and there's huge conferences everywhere on starting an assisted living facility as an investment opportunity. If you don't think that more people are going to be throwing these buildings up to the tune of $8,000 to $9,000 a month on average, then you need to go and read up on this, okay? If they have the option to have the government supplement $8,000 to $9,000 a month, or that amount is going to come out of what they had worked so
Their
hard
nest
to
egg.
build up, right?
That nest egg that was supposed to be inherited by
That's
you.
right. Do you not think that they're going to do everything that they can to preserve that for their family and for their legacy and have somebody else fit the bill? Because they paid into these programs. These are the people who were initially sold on these programs, right? Along with the meat and the jello. So if I had to.
I know you did.
So if we're looking at who this is going to impact, then we also have to talk about how they're going to start funneling these funds over into their kids or whoever it's going to be up into the trust where it can't be touched. And there's a 5-year period for that too. So this is where we're saying there's this constant 5-year that keeps showing up. 5 years for this, 5 years for that. And it's interesting because I don't think I found why they're using 5 years as the rule. Would love to know, but it just seems to be a common thing. You have to have the Roth account for 5 years. You have to have the look back period is
Right.
5 years.
Right.
And so
Let's not jump over that, because that's exactly where I was headed.
Okay.
That look back period, meaning what do you do? Because what I don't want to do is send out this alarm and an action that can be taken to overcome. My purpose for bringing this up and the impact to it being an increased tax liability is the look back period for the IRS is 5 years. So what better time than now to have this conversation with your parents around, hey, Mom, Dad, I'm not saying that there is an inheritance, but if you are thinking about leaving anything, we've got this period of time that we need to make sure the proper structure is in place so that this liability, this gift that you're looking to provide to your legacy is not burdened by unnecessary tax liability. That's the key. It's putting things in place so that because of that 5-year look back period, we have to start not tomorrow, the end of the year. We need to start now. Why? Because starting where you start in the year matters, meaning we've got, 6 weeks left in 2024? Starting now in creating this proper structure so that your legacy isn't impacted by this tax liability, starting now counts as a year. Starting within these six weeks gives you the full year of 2024, which means you've just shortened this process by 4 years.
right.
Or shorten this process by 1, making it 4 years, versus waiting till January and you got the full 5 years that you have to participate. Go ahead.
Right, exactly. And Tish is saying, I thought inherited accounts must be liquidated in 10 years, not 5. And Tish, that is why it's important to understand the differentiators between a Roth and a traditional account, because some of these rules definitely only apply to Roth conditioned dollars.
Yep. And then what about those of us who do not plan on working for the rest of our life? Whether it's because I'm inherited dollar amount, or I just plan on firing my job and focusing on my true purpose. A lot of us aren't paying really close attention to what's that impact. Not only is it an increase in tax liability, but it's also an increase in penalties, meaning it's a double whammy. It turns what would have been a 20% tax liability into a 30% impact. It's truly significant. And so it's understanding, hey, if I was just structured differently, and again, if we're talking going from traditional to Roth, you've got 5 years. So if we've got 6 weeks left in 2024, what better time to start than now? Start that process now. Start that planning now. And Roth is a condition of a dollar, meaning it's a decision. It's not I have to go through some activity. It's you deciding today that this pocket of funds are going to be leveraged and used as Roth. And then at the end of the year, 99 are yourself for that amount that you converted. And then for my last one, we've talked about traditional retirement account, and so which means we're talking a lot about traditional investing. But what about for the majority of the people on this live who are functioning in some way of shape or form of that self-directed space around non-traditional investing? What about you?
Yeah.
Well,
what about our fam,
right,
our self-directed fam?
It's the same. If you're not structured we should all be focused on being in a Roth space, meaning we should all be focused on leveraging and using Roth dollars, whether that's other people's money or our own. And let's be 100% transparent. We are not 100% Roth, but that is the objective. The objective is to make sure that we are putting everything in place so that we can be. So it's taking action so that you can put yourself in a position so that you're reducing that tax liability. And when I say non-traditional investments, what do I mean? You guys have seen this slide many, many times. This is not an exhaustive list. This is not even a scratch in what as to what I mean when it relates to non-traditional investments. It's this plus mutual funds, stocks, and bonds, but everything that's not listed, meaning you can invest in people. You can invest in dirt. I have clients that literally invest in dirt, meaning again, this is just a very non-exhaustive list. It's just the opportunities unlimited.
Was dirt on the list?
Dirt is not on the list. You got raw land, but raw land and dirt are two different things. I have clients who invest in salt mining.
Yeah,
like I really do mean it is unlimited. And just some high-level examples for my non-traditional investors. Let's say you have a property that you're looking to purchase, and the whole objective is to place that property into some retirement-based vehicle so that you can leverage and use it in the future to as income or whatever the case may be. And so, okay, you buy the property, you fix it up, you sell it, or you hold on to it and rent is being paid to your retirement account. The question is, where was it purchased? Is it purchased in a vehicle that's providing you Roth profit, or are you going to have to pay taxes when it's time to take a distribution? Well, again, there's some boxes that have to be checked. The account has to be in place for 5 years, and then once you hit 59 and a half, any of the distributions you're wanting to take from this property or these properties or that apartment complex or whatever the case may be, that's tax-free distribution that you're able to take for the rest of your life. Based off the election, after the election, there was a huge spike in crypto. So my phone started blowing up around, hey, I need to transition this crypto into a position to where I am not getting killed in taxes. So can you buy crypto inside of your Roth retirement account? Absolutely you can. And so if you were to purchase or have precious metals and or crypto inside of a traditional a Roth retirement account, and that value jumps up, if it's Roth, what happens from a tax perspective? You pay dollars on whatever the initial contribution was from a Roth perspective, meaning when I started my account, I had to pay taxes on whatever the contribution was. But as that growth happened, and as that growth happened inside of my retirement account, I'm growing tax-free profit. And once I check those boxes, account being in place for 5 years. I hit the age of 59 and a half. Now those distributions I'm taking off that crypto that went to the moon as a result of said election, I'm in a great position. And then lastly, self-storage. For those of you who are sitting on this live who have been asking me about how to invest more in self-storage, this is another one of those vehicles where it's a passive cash flowing opportunity if you want it to be. But it can also be an active cash flow opportunity if you want it to be, meaning your retirement dollars can purchase its own facility. And that facility, again, depending on the type of account that it's in, is it producing you taxable income? And again, depending on your age, and if you're wanting to start taking income as quickly as possible, is it possibly a penalizable dollar amount versus are you living in a tax-free world? Are you living in a Roth environment?
Yeah,
And,
well, wait.
Stay here.
Yeah, because you missed the part. The
Give me the part then, sweetheart.
oddly specific about why you might want to take the distribution, or you might want the income before you are 59 and a half.
Tell me more.
So specifically on this one, I put in health reasons. You might want to or need to retire for, you know that you've got this cash flowing asset. So why should you not be able to supplement your income and use this, right? Or you're already signed up saying, regardless, because if this was purchased with your retirement account, traditional or not, it doesn't matter. If it's purchased with your retirement account, you cannot be the one behind the counter.
Right.
So let's be very clear. For you to be able to benefit from not having to continue to pay high taxes, and when we're talking about business taxes versus non-business like retirement growth or gains, then it's a completely different environment, right? Different rules apply. So what I was talking about was if you need to quit your job, whatever it is that you're currently doing for income, and you have put these invested into these systems for the purpose of income so that you had something that you could count on, the majority of people are saying, you know what? I'm good. I'm good with waiting until I am 59 and a half before I can stop doing what I'm doing now and benefit from any of this.
Unless the situation presents itself where you don't have that choice, right?
Well, you know what? There's not a box on the form for the IRS that says, did you have a choice to stop earning income before 59 and a half?
Your health changed, and was there a box that said, hey, I'm healthy or not healthy, or I didn't have some circumstance
maybe
that
they should
forced
add
me
a
to
box
put
that
in a
says
situation. Right.
Maybe they should add a box that says, do you want us to act like we care, or are you good with us just being completely callous because we don't? And that's just the rugged truth. It could be you, it could be a family member, but there are a lot of people who have faced this. Like, for instance, one person doesn't just have cancer. The whole family is impacted by type of situation. And so not having options is horrible. Go back to the crypto. Okay, you just got laid off in this situation. You're laid off. Now what are you going to do? You need to leverage some income, some money from somewhere, and you know that you could just go ahead and sell this crypto and you would be okay to float you and your family for however long you need to.
To the moon.
Maybe you were in the process of moving. You need to move to get a new job, and you need to be able to get a house and whatever those qualifying things are, and you'd be able to do that now because of this increase. You could maybe even pay cash for a house. Like, how amazing is that? Most people are having to take the hit here because they can't access it tax-free.
One other note on that, especially as it relates to crypto in general, pay close attention to as conversations heat up as it relates to Social Security. Because, hey, one of the things that's being floated is, hey, we're going to stop taxing Social Security, which sounds wonderful. But if you stop taxing Social Security, what are you going to tax? Like, where are they going to make this up from?
Or they're just saying goodbye Social Security.
Because this is growing, and as of right now, there is not a schedule around how crypto is going to be taxed. So the best thing you can do is put yourself in a position to where it won't even matter. Because it's coming.
Or you can tune in to our Wizard of Oz series, where we have broken down the history of retirement plans that include where bricks comes into play and why the yellow brick road is so significant, because it's really been there the whole time.
That's it.
Yeah. So follow the yellow brick road and go to our Wizard of Oz series.
All right. So again, we've talked a lot about December 31st. Why is that? It's because you have about 6 weeks to become properly structured for 2024. Now, at the end of 2024, you still have a chance, but why is this period so important? It's because even though there's only 6 weeks left in the year, you can leverage those 6 weeks to be able to put yourself in a position to where you don't have, you can wait until April 15th to contribute for the calendar year of 2024, or September 15th if you file an extension. So which means you have until the end of the year to get your properly structured self-directed IRA or properly structured self-directed 401k, but you have until either April 15th or September 15th of 2025 before you have to actually have it fully funded. So you have time, but you don't have time to create. You have time to fund it, but you do not have time to create. You're running out of time to be able to put yourself in a position to where these examples that we've walked through won't be impacting you. And as it relates to, again, the inherited products, the inherited IRAs, inherited 401ks, whatever it is, having that conversation with your family to understand, hey, is there a better position we can place these vehicles in such that this burden, we can take advantage of that 5-year look back period. Again, starting now, starting with these 6 weeks left in 2024, gives you the full credit of the full year, which is pretty awesome. So again, don't discount the power of this date and getting yourself properly structured to be able to invest in what you want. And again, we talked a lot about the structure of your dollar, meaning Roth dollar. We didn't talk a lot about the vehicle. So I just wanted to reiterate what we're talking about here are properly structured retirement accounts in the form of a self-directed IRA or self-directed 401k, and what that structure looks like. Meaning we are just not talking about that IRA that you're able to get fidelity that they're calling self-directed. We're talking about the IRA LLC, meaning your IRA is structured your IRA is structured such that it's placing your money in a position to where you have full checkbook control over it. And please don't discount the power of what a self-directed 401k is. It is nothing like this vehicle. A 401k is a trust. And so again, these are some of the advanced strategies that we will be later digging into. But if the 401k functions as a trust, just ask yourself, what is it that trust can do that other things can't? And how about anything? There are unlimited actions that you can take with a properly designed trust, which means if you have a properly designed 401k with the proper plan documents, that 401k that you have, that self-directed 401k that you have, will function just as a trust. Meaning, if my family has personal assets sitting outside of retirement vehicles, is there a way to get personal assets into that retirement vehicle, and so that its continued growth is functioning in a Roth fashion, so that if I was in a position where I was going to pass down these vehicles to my family, I'm passing down tax-free products, tax-free assets. So if the 401k functions as a trust, and with trust, you're able to get your personal assets into the trust and them growing tax-free, then can I get my personal assets into a 401k? The short answer to that question is yes, you can. But it all starts with the foundation, having the self-directed 401k in place so that you can take advantage of those things. And sweetheart, I am done. Moral of the story, get self-directed. And you're running out of time to do so.
All right. Well, we don't have a thing going back, so just come on back.
Hey, I like that. And I got to pick up my headphones. So.
Okay. All right. So let's see here. There we go. Now we're back.
Awesome.
So I think the most concerning part of what we're talking about here today is that this impacts a lot of people, but this is where the many ways to 10 phrase that we use is so important, because it could be that you're inheriting, or you have to strategize, because even though your parents may have a sizable retirement account, or what you think or they think is sizable, you start pulling out $8,000 to $10,000 a month. That is not the living expenses that they were probably assuming they would need to have in order to survive, right? That was not the downsizing that they were thinking of. So it doesn't matter if it's right or not that people are going to do this. First of all, I just wanted to say that part. For some people, this is not about what is right to being able to qualify for these programs. That's not up for debate here. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that people are going to do this regardless of if it's right or not. They're just going to do it, because why wouldn't they? If they could, if you can, right, why wouldn't they? Right? It's no different than somebody saying, I'm going to strategize and pay less in taxes. It's no different than people knowing, especially top 3%, knowing that they can roll assets into a Roth. Did you know you could do that? Did you know that this is some of these advanced strategies, knowing what to do and how to do this with Roth accounts and conditions, is why companies like BlackRock completely swallowing cities whole in regards to the real estate that they are able to pick up. And they're doing this like it's a monopoly game, right? How does that impact the future and the economy? These are corporations. These have nothing to do with the government. These have nothing to do with who's the president. This has everything to do with us being prepared and understanding and strategizing so that we're in the position to where we have options. We have options to do the right thing or to not do the right thing, but at minimum, we are not forced to do something that is uncomfortable and is not fitting for our families.
Mic drop. I don't think there's much that can be added to that, because you're spot on. And it's, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Right.
So it's really less about what action you're really wanting to take at all. It's, are you structured to be able to do so if you need it to?
Right.
And it's the foundation. What we talk about here is becoming properly structured so that you can invest in what you want when you want. And so what is the foundation of you being able to do that? If we were talking velocity banking, what's the foundation of velocity banking for you to be able to be successful? The foundation of velocity banking is you first got to know where you are.
Right.
And as you understand where you are, what your cash flow is, it's your cash flow that's going to help you get to where you need to be. So it's understanding the foundation. As we talk about properly structured cash value life insurance products, what's the foundation of that? It's the structure of the cash value life insurance product to make sure that it's designed as efficient as possible so that you can generate and build the most income or the most cash value so that you can leverage and use it at a later date. But it's the foundation.
Right.
From a self-directed IRA or 401k perspective, what's the foundation?
Right.
It's structure. It's making sure that the custodian that you're working with or the company that designed your retirement account, or again, it's regardless of what the retirement account is it structured so that you can do what you want to do when it's time for it to be done? Even if today you're not taking any of that action. Even if today your business isn't thriving enough so that you're putting enough income into it so that you can buy an apartment complex. It's, am I structured correctly so when that time comes, I'm already ready to take advantage of it. I'm already in a Roth structure so that now as my company starts to grow and my business starts to build, I'm able to not just defer my taxes, I'm able to pay taxes on what it is I'm contributing up front so that the growth on that dollar is now growing tax-free. And then when Donnell talks about these opportunities in self-storage to be able to build and generate passive income, I now have a vehicle that I can launch from to generate that passive income. That passive growth as well as tax-free income. Game on.
Yeah, the tax-free income. Would you be shocked to know that not only are these corporations swallowing cities whole, right? They're buying up your whole block. They're buying up. They don't even care about the market. They don't care about the prices. They don't care about interest rates. None of that applies to them because they've literally become their own bank. The conditions in which they are able to move at completely different. And all of the so not only do they have monopoly on real estate markets, and in some areas it means that they They get to set the precedent for the precedent for what rent amounts are in that area, right? Because they are their own competition. The sad part about this is knowing that everyone who rents from them probably are paying far more taxes than they are total for the entire building. One person could be paying more in taxes because they purchased under Roth conditions. They purchased and are functioning under Roth conditions. This is where somebody said, a lot of people said that they were mad that Donald Trump didn't have to pay so much in taxes. They were mad to find out that Warren Buffett, secretary, pays more in taxes than he does and makes fraction of what he does. This is why. It's just because they had access to information to do things in a different way. They were able to move with velocity and a speed at which we can't even fathom, because we're still trying to apply these traditional rules that have been handed down from generation to generation and taught as if this were the gold standard, but it does not serve anybody, right? That's the part. And so I hope what you've learned is where this could apply for you, where you could strategize to be able to take advantage of and the benefit and strip the benefits out of the opportunities within these rules, right? Time is our most valuable asset that we have. Use it. Use it to get yourself set up, because you'd have no idea what's coming, what opportunity might be coming in this next 5 or 6 years. It doesn't matter that you don't see it today. Knowing that this is even possible, why would you not find a way to have this condition for yourself and freedom, right? Freedom and control.
And I didn't think I was going to bring this up, but I think you're spot on with, we don't know what the future is going to bring, but I think we can agree on this. This administration that's coming in is business friendly. True or false?
True. Yeah, very true.
And so if you are on this live and you don't own a business, and I'm not talking about your W-2 job, you got your W-2 job. I'm saying in addition to your W-2 job, if you don't own an LLC, if you're not a sole prop, if you're not driving Uber, my son has an LLC.
Right.
He's 24 years of age. Like you need a business. Why? Because at minimum, we know this administration is business friendly. So therefore, the tax benefit from you just simply having I didn't say a successful business. I didn't say the business was generating millions of dollars in income. I just said a business. And here's the cool part about having that business. Having that business with no full-time employees now qualifies you for your own self-directed 401k. Which means now you get to link a retirement account to this business that will allow you to do what? Everything that we've just talked about today, generating tax-free income, getting yourself structured properly to be able to invest in what you want when you want. So at a minimum, take advantage of what's in front of you today. And again, use this time period, use these last 6 weeks to get you in a position to where, regardless of what this administration does, we know it's going to be business friendly. Got questions?
Well, we've Peaky's in the chat. Hey, Peaky.
Hey.
And we've got, so him and Gabo we're talking about
Going back and forth.
Well, crypto and Bitcoin in general, and just what's happening right now. So he was saying Mr. Reckless must be over the moon with Bitcoin lately, and talking about that. And I think there's a lot of exciting things coming along. There's a lot of things that people are mourning right now because it just feels very confusing. What just happened? What does it mean? Does this actually mean a good thing? And what do most people assume is about to happen? I think some people might be surprised. Some people that were sad might be, genuinely thrilled to find out that some of the changes actually, there were silver linings in here for them. Right. I think some of the people that were thrilled at what they thought was about to happen for them and how they were going to benefit, they're going to learn that nobody's coming to save you. Not a president, not a board, not a congressman, Nobody's coming to save you. And if you're voting for somebody to save you, then that is just not, that ain't it. That ain't where we're going. That's not going to help. So getting yourself in position and understanding why you're making the moves that you're making, that's empowerment, right? That's control. And that's not allowing anybody else to take it from you either, because now you're not waiting on conditions someone else is setting for you. You understand the rules of the game, and now you can move accordingly. And I think we should all be there. I just, some of this, especially when it involves these Roth accounts, I understand that people are investing every single day into different things. We do. But it's the larger amounts of money and where those are going to be going, the large amounts that are not just being managed by firms, but right now these large amounts are sitting there. The majority of these accounts belong to boomers. They
Right.
belong to our parents.
Right. Transitional wealth.
Right. And they are trying to hold on to these accounts. A lot of them already know there's not enough in that account for them to, they will outlive these accounts if they have to draw from them in these types of economies, unless something significant happens. But the majority of them are not in those positions and they know it. So what is going to happen if your parents have to come live with you? Well, let's just let that sink in, shall we? We'll call some therapy up. What would you do if that happened to you? I don't think anybody prefers that as to be a condition, but you see a lot of multi-generational residential developments going up. And so it makes you wonder how common this is going to become if this is becoming a trend even in real estate development.
Well, not to be a Debbie Downer, but this is the statistics say that the average nest egg size is $198,000 a year.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, $198,000 total.
Total. Yeah. Total.
In retirement.
Yeah.
So
what is that? $5 a year?
Right. So if you have an aging parent headed into retirement, the likelihood of them having enough in retirement to be able to sustain their lifestyle is not very high. And so based off those numbers, the multi-generational living is a reality. And it's a reality for a lot of us.
Yeah, unless we get smart and we help them and we start to understand what it is that we can do now, because we've got the time. We've got the time to plan. We've got the time to use and leverage. So let's get into some of these questions.
Do it.
Okay, Gabo says, how about a traditional deferred account that with the savings of those tax dollars, you get that into your IUL every year and you leverage that for your retirement. Then after 30 years, you convert that traditional 401k into an annuity.
And that's that long math. It's doing the long math to identify if I was to receive these extra dollars as income and I put it in another vehicle like a properly structured IUL with leverage, by the way, and can I outperform, outpace, outproduce whatever that tax liability, that increase in tax liability up front would be? I would hope that the math said yes, but it's doing that math to confirm as to whether or not that is possible. And these are not, I'll call it, the data that you have allows you to understand how prior years have performed. So you can't look into the future, but we got some pretty good data that can break down what this would look like over time. So I'm in full agreement with what you're referencing. And as it relates to that annuity, there are some great annuities out there. I call it, there's three buckets. There's growth annuities, there's hybrid annuities, and then there's immediate income annuities. And so it's kind of breaking down, hey, this is my time horizon on when I need these dollars, proper vehicles that I need to put my money in order to be successful. So no, I think you're spot on, Gabo.
Okay, so Rose and Gabo were in the chat talking about how to structure this, right? Which is something that we love to see. We love to see the community supporting each other and jumping and talking about like, what does this mean? How do I do this? In order to transfer funds and have them qualify as monies that can be invested in this, right? Because you can't transfer money can't transfer money out of your retirement into an IUL.
Sorry. Right. You can't transfer money out of your retirement account into an IUL. Can you borrow, leverage your retirement account, and use those funds in anything to include a properly structured IUL? You can. There is this thing called a 72T that will allow you to take guarantee, or I think it's evenly distributed distributions from your retirement account that you would owe taxes on, but not penalty. And then you can use those dollars to fund life insurance products. Like there are ways to go about this if you're wanting to go about it. But can you just simply transfer qualified dollars into a life insurance based product? You absolutely cannot, because they function under two different IRS codes. So that is correct.
Okay. We do have some other questions here. Let me go find them real quick. I just saw some come in. Gosh, it was from Rose. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Rose says, how would an irrevocable trust work with a 401k or Roth? Can it be used to hide an asset? And Peaky says, you spelt protect wrong.
Love you, Peaky. Welcome back, by the way. So first off, a 401k is a trust, but can you link a 401k to another trust? Irrevocable, revocable, charitable remainder? The answer is yes. So are there strategies that you can apply to a 401k, whether it's related to a trust or putting an LLC inside of the 401k that will allow you to be able to move assets into it? Are there actions that you can take with a 401k that will allow you to be able to do things that in most cases you traditionally cannot do? The short answer to that question is yes. It is all about structure. But what's the foundation? The first step is just getting that self-directed 401k so that you can springboard and be able to do those other things.
Yeah. Well, there's some people who've made comments about whether or not they would want their parents to have to live with them or be forced to. You know, I even had a conversation this weekend with a lady who was talking about she feels kind of guilty, like regardless of what her relationship has or has not been with her mom, she has to take care of her now. And the trauma that some people are going to experience out of this, not because before it was like, well, isn't there a program that can put, somebody in a place where it's not healthy for me to be with this person every single day, but they become your problem, right? Their lack of planning, or let's just be honest, sometimes it's not their lack of planning. Sometimes in certain situations, and I don't know your situation, right? I don't know your mom. I don't know your family financial dynamics. But what I can tell you is more common than not is, one, either people didn't plan and now they're going, oops, well, can I come live with you? Can't I? Because I put you up for your first however many years, right? Like, are you kidding me? I can't. So there's like an entitlement there. A lot of people have entitlements with their kids, or it is that they did do what they felt like was the responsible thing to do. And it was somebody else who led them to believe that the 4% rule was going to be enough, led them to believe that this is all they got to do. And really, this all stems from the problem that we had in the first place. We didn't seek out to strengthen the family dynamics so that we could have multi-generational living and we could have support for families, right? Like that wasn't the point. We had that. That's all we could have back in the Great Depression, right? That was all you had. You had you had something to barter or to trade. This is like how people survived, was by clicking together families and communities, right? Then we got into the Industrial Revolution. Oh, now we got all these factories. We got pensions. You come and you put in your time. We're going to give you this pension. We're going to guarantee that you and your fam, your whole squad, is going to be taken care of if something were to happen to you, or if you put the X amount of time in and you retire from here, we're going to send you a check for the rest of your life. And some people are still receiving those checks to this day, right? Somebody's grandmommy is out there getting a check today because of that revolution that happened, financial revolution, right? But then what?
The truth is, life is always going to life, right? There's nothing we can do around that.
Well, they lied, though. That's the point. Let me get back to the tea. Hold on one second. No.
But hold on. Life is always going to life. The piece is, are you structured to be able to handle it? Like, we can't change what did happen. You're right. We have been lied to, and we are continuing to be lied to.
Okay, this is the part, though. They said that because they didn't want to have the burden of having to make good on all of these pensions anymore, because they were like, whoa, this isn't a vibe. This is carrying us into the red. We don't like this. This is too expensive. We don't like this. This is cutting into our profits. And how can we get out from underneath this? We can give them the responsibility. We'll call it an individual retirement account, not a family retirement account, if you were a stay-home mom, you're going to be taken care of too. This isn't called if you stop working at 50 and you live until 100. That's not what it's called. It's called do you. Okay. Do you for as long as you can. And you're the one that's in control and responsible. That's what it's called. And that is not how it's functioned. That is exactly how it's functioned, because now you have the consequences and the responsibility. The problem with that is this is the same generation that was born underneath the fabric that wove this flag for them, right? So now they were born into it. They felt like, okay, if all I got to do is, because I have the freedom, this is individual retirement account. I can take it anywhere I want. I can take it to the store. It goes everywhere with me. It's mine. And now they're realizing, well, what good is it if it's mine and I can go anywhere with me if it's not enough? Now what do? It's too late to go back and re-strategize. It's too late to go back and do the math over, right? Now it's too late. So who is now going to carry the burden?
You're looking at it, right? And that's where it goes back to, it's being structured such that regardless of what the result of those things that we could not control, that we were lied about, that were structured improperly, that the fiduciary that said he had my back really didn't, the guy that sold me that my grandmother, that life insurance policy, lied and said it was building cat, all of those things. What can we do? It is becoming properly structured so that we can pivot when we need to pivot. It's understanding where our leverage is located. Maybe the largest asset you have, the largest asset most of us have, being our home, is a vehicle that we need to leverage and use to help us get beyond or get to the next state that we need to be, so that we can bring our mom in if we need to, or transition our lifestyle, or move to some plot to be able to put our kids a few houses on, so that we can build our own multi-generational compound. Whatever those actions are, the objective is, hey, what are the actions that I need to take to become properly structured to be able to do so? And please don't lose sight of the opportunity to have this discussion with that aging parent, because there are absolutely actions they can take as well to be able to become better structured, so that that burden isn't placed unnecessarily on you.
Yep. We've got a couple comments in here about annuities, and that's a great topic too. But next week we're going to break down an example of two people, one who could strategize and was flexible and had the opportunity and the ability to strategize for their retirement plan, and one that just followed pretty much what everybody else has been doing. We give these kinds of examples, but this one is going to be particularly to Roth and Roth conditions. What can be done, what can't be done, and doing the long math, which is something that we really like to do, is the long math on a strategy. What is the actual impact in income and penalties, fees, etc., that would be taken away from a perceived benefit, right? So we're going to talk about that. We haven't talked much about annuities, and that is a good strategy for some who are in the position, because we can't go back, right? A lot of people have already done what they've done. So now we have to talk about what can be done now going forward, right?
Yeah, honestly, there are some great annuities out there today. And I'm talking annuities that offer that promotional dollar amount up front to allow you to start generating and building cash value faster. And again, it's about the 3 buckets, like where on your time horizon and what vehicle makes the most sense to fit your time horizon. If you've got 5, 7, 8, 10 years before you're going to retire, is there an opportunity to take some previous employee retirement account, put it in a position to where it's building and growing the maximum? There's nothing you have to do but just set it and forget it. And then at the end of that 10-year, 7-year period, you've now maximized its growth and now putting it in a position to where, because at that point you're now at retirement age, you're able to take income and rock and roll. Some of you out there have a fairly large amount in this basic traditional retirement account that if you were in need of taking distribution starting today, we are talking about the 4%. And there's no way around the 4% as it relates to traditional retirement planning. Well, there are annuities out there that can allow you to produce that immediate income while growing at the maximum rate to be able to allow you to function, I'll call it better in the space of 6 to 8%. And again, maybe there's a hybrid, maybe there's a combination of all of these things to, hey, there's some immediate income that I need today, but in addition, I want to put some of these dollars in a position to where I can self-direct them because I know there are actions that I can take outside of the market, outside of an annuity, to be able to grow them exponentially as well. So it's not or. Right. This is not an or discussion. It's where I'm trying to get to 10. What are the variables that require me to be able to most efficiently get to 10 as quickly as possible? It may include an annuity. It may include an IRA. It may include a 401k. It may include an IUL with leverage. There are many things that this strategy, this process, this formula may include because the objective at the end of the day is just to hit that 10.
Man. And if we don't know anything about and it is the most empowering story about a team who just wanted to ask the question, how do we get to 10 the fastest, right? And they came up with the answer. We've shared this before, and we have now, again, have the opportunity to share it. We haven't for a couple of weeks, and so this is exciting. We're going to give away a boat here in just a moment. Let's get up the comment. No, the banner. How do you get it in there? Where's it at? Right here? No, it's put up the link. That. Okay. So we're going to give away the boat, the mini vision board kit, because if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. But how you get there and the questions and the that we ask along the way are even more impactful. So this is why we give away the boat, and we hope that it inspires you as well.
In 1998, a British rowing team dreaming of the Olympic gold found themselves ranked 7th. Their focus had always been on the competition day, but they realized the keys to reaching their highest potential were hiding in the decisions that they'd make over those next 2 years.
Faced with 2 obvious choices, continue their current path and expect the same result, or give up, they discovered a third transformative option. They united under one guiding question: will it make the boat go faster? Every decision, every action was weighed against this mantra. If the answer was yes, they could or would have to do it.
If the answer was no, it was forbidden, non-negotiable. Prior to the competition, this team was doubted and ridiculed, but no one knew what they had been doing. And once they hit the water, they were nearly unrecognizable, achieved their pinnacle, and won the gold. So we ask you,
what is your goal? What are you willing to do to achieve it?
Will your story feel unrecognizable, even to you? Are you willing to light your beacon and stay focused, stay committed? Is your story non-negotiable, or are you waiting to find out how you ranked? Your financial future is not a game. You are only competing with yourself and those in the boat with you, your family, and the many generations to come.
Will this make the boat go faster? A sounding alarm, a beacon of clarity amidst turbulent life decisions.
It's not just about speed, but direction, purpose, and an unwavering commitment. Every choice, every sacrifice aimed at the goal.
The first agreement this team made was to become fully self-directed, making their health their wealth, adopting a new perspective on their time and freedom, and the decisions they could fully control to reach their goal.
will we make your boat go faster? That is our pledge to you. Our mission is to arm you with knowledge, strategies, and insights to ensure that not only you reach the goal, but you do so long before your race is over.
Well, this is the first time for us, probably because we haven't given away a boat in so long.
And that's the part.
Yeah.
It's been a while. So like, why would I put hashtag
Yeah,
boat
our
in the
new
chat?
people.
Point? What's the purpose?
We've already gotten a boat. Well,
like
we got one person. Let's see if we got anybody else in here. We're gonna spin anyway, because that's what we do. And
I could put my name in it.
yeah, man, if you got a moment to get in the chat, this probably has to be the first time in the history of this channel that we've only had one or two people put the boat in the chat.
It.
Yeah, well, here we go.
Ban it.
Okay. Did it? Here we go. All right. And then we could give away a couple because we haven't done this in a minute.
True story.
Yeah.
Hashtag
So you gotta put
boar. I see a boar. I see
Yeah,
a
we gotta
boar.
put hashtag boat, or we'll pick it up in here. Hey, Kiki. Well, you know what I love about this is, and I hope you can hear me. What I love about this is that we have people who have gotten boats before, and if you've gotten one before, that's okay, get another one. And they give them away to somebody to introduce them to these concepts and these ideas. And we love that because we love to increase our fam.
And you know what? Peaky, you probably deserve another boat.
Yeah.
This is probably a good move.
I don't know if he's gotten the vision kit yet. I think so. I think I might have seen one. All right, who else we got? What is a boat? Karen, that boat is about the video that we just sent. Oh, we got to spin again. He can't win all the boats. All right,
yes, he
Kiki, it's
can.
getting out of control. All right, let's see. We'll reset. Oh, we'll reset. Here we go. Let's see if it. Do you see any new names in there? Because I don't know if it maybe
Yeah, I
reset.
saw Tish pop up in there.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. Okay, I see them. You kidding me?
Peaky over there hitting home runs. Go play the lottery, my boy.
Does he keep putting it in the chat? Is it like you, as many times as you put it in there, as another entry to
This is a
win?
message being sent to Peaky. There's
He's
a
getting a
message in
vote.
this.
Yeah, there
There's
is a message
in
here.
this. I like it.
If it happens one more time, you better go play the lottery.
Absolutely.
Right on. Okay, well, there are many chances to win. Well, how about right now?
Here you go.
We haven't been able to do it in a minute, so I'm fired up.
And now, for those of you who win, and most of Peaky you know, so maybe you
Yes.
can put it in the chat as well for us, Peaky.
There we go.
Go to selfdirected.info/live. Click on, hey, did you win a boat? And put in your information, and we will send it over to you.
I think these two have a synergy. They're having bromance in the chat over here, and so now it's only picking them. These arms are messing up my groove. That's what it is. All right. Who's it gonna be? Hey! Congratulations, my Chan 33. And so go to selfdirected.info. Here we go, right here. /live and fill out the form to tell us where to send your boat. So it's just like a little kit. I meant to bring one in here so we could talk about it, but since we've been on the other platform, we can do the boat. So there it is. Go to the bottom where I won, Peaky says. Yes. Pull that up. Here we go. See? Listen to a pro. A winner.
Been there, done that.
A winner.
Many times.
Yeah.
Many times.
Listen to
and
a
got
winner.
the T-shirt or got a cup, got a
He did,
onesie.
yeah. He's got all this stuff. Yeah. So congrats to everybody who has received a boat. We just want you for this concept to be infectious. That's really what we want. We want for you to go out there, get educated, get properly structured, and then go out and tell other people what's possible so that we can get more people to level up. There's enough out here for everybody to win, regardless of what others are saying. So congrats to those who have won tonight, and congrats to those who are winning in the strategies that they're implementing single day, because that it's hard to celebrate unless you jump in our community and share.
True story.
Yeah. And speaking of community, the community that we build, the community that we form is even more important than that we were born into sometimes, right? The people that we choose to be around with, the people that we impact on a daily basis, those are some of the decisions that we make. So we like to end with, if you didn't come from a wealthy family,
You can make sure a wealthy family comes from you.
so stay tuned,
Stay protected.
stay focused.
Stay connected.
Let me get this off. Hold on. We got to start over. This is not how we do
Do it
things
again.
here.
Do it
Let me
again.
hide this.
Do it
Okay.
again.
We like to end with, if you didn't come from a wealthy family,
You can make sure a wealthy family comes from you.
so stay tuned,
Stay protected.
stay focused.
Stay connected.
I'm Angelique,
And I'm Donnell.
and our goal is to help you.
As always, get self-directed.
And to do that, we have a ton of free resources. We also have free consultations. So if you have some questions and you didn't want to jump in the chat, or maybe we didn't see your question and you would like just to ask questions that are specific to you, how you can level up, get properly structured, go to the same website, selfdirected.info /live. And there you can find access to his calendar. Put some time on it. Time is the most valuable asset that we have, and we are so grateful that you're spending your time here with us. We hope that you'll come back and spend some more time learning a deeper dive into the similar topic, case study, right, on Sunday. We've been going at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Since Arizona doesn't change times, maybe we're just going to play around with the time. Put your vote in.
We've done it before.
In the comments, yeah, for the day, the time. But for now, it's Sundays, 6 p.m. Arizona time, which right now we're on MST. And we hope to see you back here soon. Well, I got to find it now. See, it's gone. Here we go. See you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.
Hey, before you go, we want to remind you that becoming fully self-directed means gaining complete control over your wealth, time, and freedom. It's not just an idea. It's a framework, a mindset, and the power to make informed decisions to secure your future. Being here means you're taking those steps, and we want to thank you for allowing us to guide you. We believe that we grow farther and faster when we grow together. So tune in next time and tell a friend to tell a friend. We've helped thousands of people just like you start their journey to financial freedom. And if they can do it, you can too. And if you're ready to learn more, we got you. Get a head start by grabbing these 2 free books. But how do they get them, Donnell?
Head over to my website where you'll have access to a few things. A ton of free resources, case studies, and over 100 5-star reviews from people just like you. And in 15 minutes, we can explore what's possible for you. So don't wait.
Invest in what you want, when you want.
But first, let us help you get
Get self-directed.